Welcome to another bonus edition of Upon Further Review. Upon Further Review! And in this edition, we'll be going over the Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game will be played September 7th at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch that on Fox as it's one of two 4 o'clock games, as they'll be either showing the Cowboys Niners or the Panthers Bucks. I'll tell you, I really hope it's this game. This is the game I really am looking forward to watching. And the Panthers are a team that I expect to slide this year, and the Bucks are a team that I expect to rise. I actually think the Bucks can compete with the Saints for the NFC South title this year, and I think the Panthers are going to kind of regress. They still got a really good defense, but they have some question marks on offense. Cam Newton's banged up. It was a question mark as if he would even play this Sunday. And they've got new receivers. Steve Smith is gone. Now they've got a rookie in Benjamin, and then they also have Kachuri. So we'll see how these new targets develop with Cam Newton and how his health affects the Panthers. Either way, I expect the Panthers to have a tough season. Sad to say for those fans in Charlotte and throughout the Carolinas. But for the fans in Tampa Bay, good times are on the rise and on the way. It's the Buccaneers. They struggled last year, but they showed a lot of promise, and they've added some key players, as they've got Alteron Werner at corner this year to an already really strong defense that features one of the best linebacking corps, one of the best linebackers in David. And Werner came over from Tennessee, and he was an all-pro last year, so that defense is going to be extremely difficult for any opponent that faces them, and they're going to be very competitive, especially with their new head coach, Lovie Smith, who is a defensive mastermind. He's one of the top defensive minds in the NFL. And he's been in the Super Bowl before, and I think he very well might bring the Bucs there. Not this year necessarily, that's kind of a lot to ask, but in the next few years, I expect to see the Bucs making the playoffs and making playoff runs under Lovie Smith for years to come. And on offense, they just actually added Logan Mankins from the Patriots, which is a huge addition to their offensive line. He's a great leader, and he should solidify that line. They also drafted Mike Evans, and at quarterback, they picked up Josh McCown, who had a lot of success in Chicago last year as Jay Cutler went down, and McCown racked up some really impressive numbers. Of course, he was thrown to Braden Martian and Alshon Jeffrey there in Chicago, but he's got a couple of huge targets in Vincent Jackson and Mike Evans, two really tall receivers. And for those of you that are familiar with the NFL Network at all and have watched any of Kurt Warner's analysis of Josh McCown over the last 12 months, then you're familiar with the fact that he has said time and time again, I've lost track how many times I've heard Kurt Warner say that Josh McCown is the guy who taught him how to throw the ball to big receivers like Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald and how to throw them open. Kurt Warner at that point, he'd already been an MVP, he'd already won a Super Bowl ring, but he picked up a new skill set from Josh McCown as he taught him how to throw a big receiver open. So Josh McCown is more than capable. That's a huge endorsement to get a former MVP and Super Bowl champion in Kurt Warner to say that about you. That's just a very glowing endorsement of Josh McCown. And for anyone who saw him play last year in Chicago, that's definitely a well-deserved compliment from Kurt Warner. So that being said, I expect some really big things out of the Bucs this year. I already thought they were going to be a much better team, much more competitive team. And that was before they added Josh McCown, before they drafted Mike Evans, before they picked up Logan Mankins or Alteron Werner and Lovie Smith. And with those additions on top of the natural progression that they were already showing at the end of last year, put all that together, and I think the Bucs are at least a wild card team, and I think they definitely are going to win this game. It should be competitive. Expect it to be close early on, especially with how tight that Panthers defense is. But in the fourth quarter, the Bucs are going to get the lead. At least they'll extend the lead if they haven't already have the lead. And then by the end of the game, they should win. expected to be within 7 points, but I figure they're going to win probably by about maybe 4. But we'll see. I'm not really necessarily so big on picking the points. It's more about just picking winners and losers and just enjoying the game and watching all the talented players the NFL has to offer and all the excellent football that we are in store for here in week 1. It's definitely going to be very exciting and entertaining. So let me know what you think about this game in the comments below. Thanks for listening and hope you enjoyed the show.